Today, we're going to examine tornadoes in Texas. First, the Hawley tornado of 2024, and second, the Morton tornado of 2022. We're going to discuss why Texas is famous for having the most tornadoes of any state in the country. Hello, and welcome to Deadliest Disasters, where we cover some of the most devastating events that happened throughout history. A significant, severe weather outbreak occurred across west-central Texas during the days of May 2nd through May 4th, 2024. Tornadoes occurred in Hawley, Silver, Robert Lee, Ballinger, Dual, and southern Crockett County. The strongest was an EF3 tornado in Hawley. Very large to giant hail also occurred and caused significant damage to some locations. A tornado that injured a family of 4 in Hawley was classified as a high-end EF3, with wind speeds reaching upwards of 165 miles per hour. National Weather Service surveyors also determined the tornado, which affected the area of Jones County near the Hodges and Hawley communities of CR 605 and CR 458, had a path of destruction that was 3.29 miles long, 210 yards wide, and it was on the ground for 27 minutes. Trucks and tractor trailers were thrown 70 to 100 plus yards. A family of 4 was also injured when the tornado took their brick and wood home off the foundation, leaving no structure behind. The National Weather Service damage assessment follows. The tornado was part of a cyclical supercell moving southeastward through Jones County just west of US 277. The tornado that produced damage dropped just north of CR 460 and moved southeast before causing damage to metal outbuildings on 2 properties. It continued southeast, then turned to the south-southwest, where it damaged a home and snapped some trees and wooded power poles. It continued southwestward before completely destroying a home that was under construction. It also threw several trucks and trailers about 100 yards before crossing CR 458. Continuing southwestward, the tornado completely destroyed another house and injured a family of 4. The tornado made one more turn southeastward where it hit a small neighborhood. In the neighborhood, it caused roof damage to a few homes and outbuildings. Before exiting the neighborhood, it took most of the roof off of a house and caused some of the walls to collapse. It also destroyed a metal garage and heavily damaged an attached metal outbuilding. The tornado crossed FM 605 before dissipating shortly thereafter. The Morton tornado of 2022. May 23rd and 24th brought several rounds of thunderstorms, complete with tornadoes, damaging winds, hail, and widespread rain to the South Plains region of West Texas. The activity was fueled by returning Gulf of Mexico moisture following a strong May front that had provided a relatively cool and dry weekend leading up to the stormy stretch. Moderate to strong instability developed across the western South Plains and eastern New Mexico Monday afternoon and the evening of May 23rd, as the improving low-level moisture and temperatures warming into the 80s developed beneath an approaching upper-level storm system. The most intense activity of the day was a cyclonically rotating storm that organized over southern Bailey County, then slowed and tracked east and southeastward through parts of Cochran and Hawley counties Monday evening. The storm produced its first absorbed tornado, a brief one, northwest of Morton just before 7 p.m. The storm further strengthened and went on to produce a large tornado north of Morton shortly after 7 p.m. At one point, as many as 3 landspouts were observed at the same time near the community of Meadow. Thankfully, the landspouts moved very little, dissipated relatively quickly, and inflicted little to no known damage. However, the slow-moving line of thunderstorms dropped torrential rainfall, as much as 2 to 3 inches over southern Lubbock into central Crosby counties, creating flash flooding. The National Weather Service damage survey follows. Late afternoon on Monday, May 23rd, a cluster of thunderstorms moving northeast out of southeast New Mexico into the northwest South Plains interacted with an outflow boundary moving northwest out of the Permian Basin. This caused a storm on the southern flank of the cluster to begin to rotate and become supercellular and take a more easterly than southeasterly track. As the storm intensified, it also became cyclic in behavior, and its forward speed varied from about 5 miles per hour to about 20 miles per hour. The storm produced its first brief tornado across northern Cochran County shortly before 7 p.m. Monday afternoon, with the final observed tornado ending around 9 p.m. Monday evening just northwest of the town of Loveland in north-central Hawley County. The National Weather Service at Lubbock conducted a ground survey on Tuesday, May 24th. Many roads across the affected area were closed due to flooding, which limited access to where the tornadoes tracked. The U.S. averages over 1,150 tornadoes every year. That's more than any other country in the world. In fact, it's more than Canada, Australia, and all European countries combined. Within the U.S., every state has had at least one tornado, and some have dozens each year. In the U.S., the average number of tornado fatalities per year is 73. Texas, on average, has 140 tornadoes every year, the most of any state. Kansas, Florida, Oklahoma, and Nebraska round out the top 5. Texas's position next to the Gulf of Mexico provides the required moisture to generate tornadoes any month out of the year. The basic ingredients for severe thunderstorms that can make tornadoes are warm, moist air near the ground, relatively dry, cool air aloft, and horizontal winds in the environment the storm forms in that increase as you go from the ground up and change direction with height, blowing from the equator, near the ground, and from the west aloft. Low pressure systems in the U.S. pull warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico and cool, dry air aloft from the Rocky Mountains or the high desert in the southwest. The states that fall in between those two regions end up being in the ideal location for severe weather to ignite. Senior scientist with the NOAA National Severe Storms Laboratory, Dr. Harold Brooks states, "No place else in the world has the large warm water on its equatorward side, with a wide, high range of mountains extending from north to south to the west of it." Due to its size, Texas ranks number 1 for the most tornadoes of any state, but it ranks number 5 for the number of tornado fatalities, with Alabama taking the number 1 spot for the amount of fatalities per the amount of tornadoes they have a year. The greatest outbreak of tornadoes on record in Texas was associated with Hurricane Beulah in September 1967. Within a 5-day period, 115 known tornadoes, all in Texas, were spawned by this great hurricane. 67 occurred on September 20th, a Texas record for a single day. In the United States, tornado warnings are issued by local weather forecast offices of the National Weather Service and in conjunction with the Storm Prediction Center. As technology and data about tornadoes increases, our forecasting ability strengthens, allowing critical advanced warnings to be issued. Please stay weather aware and have an action plan for tornadoes and severe weather in your area. Thanks for watching today's video on this devastating but important historical event. If you found this informative, please hit that like button and subscribe for more historical deep dives. And let me know in the comments what other overlooked historical events you'd like to learn about. Until next time, this has been Deadliest Disasters.